Right? I mean, it's just, I love just seeing how people can screw up. I just love the whole thing. I think it's just a train wreck waiting to happen, right? And isn't that like we want to see that. I only watch NASCAR for the crashes, right? I mean, literally. I mean, how many of y'all? I can't wait to watch NASCAR and nothing happen, right? Like, yes! Fiery crash. No. So anyway, this is the first year we've done anything as far as Super Bowl goes, and it's not about the Super Bowl today, okay? It's just the way it goes. We're going to talk about something else today. We're going to talk about just the daily grind, and that's not a play on our coffee, but I did think about that this morning as I was getting ready. I thought that was pretty funny. The daily grind, and how you and I need to remember. So we're still under construction, all right? So we're under construction physically at our church, but we're also spiritually under construction. That never changes, right? You know that, right? You're not ever going to not be under construction spiritually. But as far as building blocks or building into our lives, what that is. Oh, they brought their hard hat. I would have worn the Bob the Builder hard hat, mister. I'd have worn it. I would have worn it. Why can't y'all all be like them? They pay attention. They think ahead. It's just good. No, I didn't tell them. They were here last week and just remembered. That's it. But I want you to be here. So we're in the grind. It's the day of the grind. But I want us to now be grateful in it. All right? To be grateful in where we are in the daily grind. Just grateful doing what we're doing. We're going to look at the Apostle Paul a little bit. And we're going to try to change our focus. So I'm back to telling you what I'm trying to tell you in case I don't tell you it correctly. I'm just going to give you the end notes. So some of you will go ahead and doze off. That's okay. To be grateful in the actual work and not look for the prizes along the way. You know, we're prone to doing that, right? We're prone to having so I'll tell you about my own life. It happens. I've always had this, after such, then this will be all right. Have you ever been that way? For a long time, it was when season comes, right? Everything will be okay. Basically, you all bring your money, and we're happy. And I'm not talking about church necessarily. I'm talking about community. I'm talking about everything. It was just like, when they get here, it'll be better. And that's kind of how I was handed the baton off here 14 years ago. Well, what I figured out was, that's not always good news. You know, you flood this place with that many people, right? And then you've got these other problems that come about. You know, our roads aren't built for it, or our restaurants aren't made for them, and in this influx, nobody's prepared for it. So it comes with its own little situations. So then what I started was like, well, then you would hear people say, well, Susan, season's over, right? So you're like, really? Okay, good. I can't wait. Now, they're gone, right? And then we would go through this little cycle. We would look around here in July and count crickets, right? You know, like 12 years ago, I promise you, we could have done church on the first 2 rows in July. And so we would be like, well, that's all right. We'll just, as soon as this happens, or as soon as that happens. So I'm always looking for the next thing, right? And then it becomes vacation. I hate vacation for that purpose, because you spend all your time looking forward to it, and then it happens. And my life, so we go on a vacation around the next to last day before we're coming home. I start thinking about what we're going to do next, right? Because I need to have something to look forward to. I need to turn my attention to such and such. So basically, I can take myself out of that mode and move it into the next mode. But I'm always looking for around the corner. It's going to be better. It's going to be different. If I could just whatever, then this would happen in my life. Anybody else like that? All right, good. So I'm in the right church. It'll work. But what I want us to look at is to get out of that mentality a little bit and get back to being grateful for the mundane. Grateful for just the grind. Grateful for just the days when you're just, if you've still got kids, some of us have kids, running the kids around, having to get up and drop them off at school, being grateful for that. For having to leave the island at 5:30 in February, right? Grateful that your wife said, I need to go to Walmart. Are you serious? Be grateful for that. Not to be like, well, can we wait till 9, right? They'll all be in bed soon, right? It's 4:30, they're eating right now, right? Listen, if you're laughing, it might be you. I don't know. But no, it's just being grateful for where you are. For me, or if you're when we were just starting our family, we have our first kid, it's going to be this way. And then you have that kid, as soon as he starts sleeping, it's going to be this way, right? As soon as we get him in school, this is going to happen or whatever. As soon as we get him out of the house, this is what's going to happen, right? I'm still eating out of the choice market. What's that tell you? I'm like first in line, right? We're going to save a lot on toilet paper one day in our lives. I don't know when that is. But all these categories, it just kind of puts it in. I couldn't wait for one season to get over, so the next season would start. And I don't mean that season anymore. I mean just the season of life. Just when this happens, that's going to happen. Or when this is over. What I've noticed is that it was always about my goals, my passions, my desires. I'm the one that's looking. I'm the one that's making the plans. When I'm thinking about that, it's really all about me. If you think about last week, it's always been about us in everything. So when we're planning our life here on the planet, that's what we're working on. Our plan, our desires. And that's what makes this happen. That's what makes us look forward to the things that we've planned. And then we work out the stuff in the middle, and then in the middle, when it doesn't go, something doesn't happen that can accomplish our plan, we get down. It messes us up. I don't care if you're Christian or not Christian. If you've got a 5-year plan, right, and you get arrested at year 2.5, it stinks, right? Now, I'm not speaking from personal experience yet. But anything that disrupts your plan messes you up. It just kind of puts you into a tailspin. And what you can realize from that is you're not grateful for the day-to-day. You're not living in what God has asked you to do. You're living in what you want. Because when things happen that disrupt a plan, if it affects you, too bad. I mean, it wasn't God's plan in the first place. So when you're looking forward to a goal, when you're focused on the next season, what you're going to realize is that you forget about what's going on right now. And you try to take control of what's going on right now to make that happen. We're going to talk a lot about Paul. I told you that, but look at 1 Corinthians 10:31. I love this. It's one of my favorite verses that Paul wrote. But so whatever you eat or drink, or more importantly, say that together, whatever you... What do you... There's like 4 people. There's like 4 people in church here today, right? The rest of y'all just spectating? No, we don't do that here. Catch up, or we'll get out by the Super Bowl. So some of y'all are going, what time does that start? So whether you eat or drink or do it, what? All for the glory of God. Now, what's really interesting is we as Christians are really good at this. We will figure out what's God's stuff in our life, and then we'll figure out what's our stuff. And the stuff that's God, we'll do it all for the glory of God. We will. We will come and we will serve. That we have a volunteer day here at church, and maybe you come here and you're like, I'm doing this for the Lord. I'm doing this or doing that. This is my service to Him. I'm doing it all for His glory, right? But then you go home and you're like, well, this isn't God's stuff. I don't have to do this for God's glory. I don't have to go to work for God's glory. I go to work to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, pay the car payment, whatever. I don't have to do that. I mean, I've got some stuff I do for God's glory. Absolutely. Yeah, he's asked me to do some things, and those are the things I do. What he's asked me to do, I do. Like, I check in with him every morning. I'm like, God, I've got a to-do list. I need yours, right? And I'm going to try to mesh them together, right? And I promise God I'm going to get some of your things done. I will. If I don't, you didn't promise me tomorrow, so don't bank on me, right? Right? So let's just figure out, I'll try to get done today what you've got, and I'll let you know at the end of the day how we worked out. And that's kind of how we live our lives. And I kind of joke about that, but you just think about your life. You just think about the things that you go out and you do for God's glory, and then the things you don't. You do for the other thing. You understand that our life is supposed to be, all that other stuff is supposed to be the byproduct of doing that word right there, my favorite word in all the Bible. That word all is spelled P-A-S in the Greek, pas. It means, seriously, it's right there. That word all is spelled P-A-S. It means, wow. Pas means all. And in the Greek, it literally means absolutely, positively everything. Nothing is left out. Nothing. I mean, it is the emphatic form of the verb, or the word. All. That means, folks, no matter what you're doing, as a Christian, you're doing it for the glory of God. That's a huge mind change. Huge mind change. It doesn't mean that you're just out being this Christian witness all the time, and that's what you're trying to do. You know, like, well, I can't really go to work. All I got to do is witness while I'm there, and I'm not really doing a very good job of working, but I'm actually a really good witness while I'm there. That won't pay the bills either, because they'll just find somebody else who works better, right? Isn't that how the world works? That's not what it means. It means everything you're doing, you do it for his glory, meaning he is constantly on your mind. It means the things you do say, you're asking him, what should I say? It means the things you're doing, you're asking him if you should do it. It means the places you go, you're asking him. But I'm talking about in the daily, your every single day life, doing it for the glory of God, meaning I am grateful for every single thing he asked me to do along the day. And if I find myself not being grateful, maybe I should look and say, hey, maybe I planned this out. I can't really get behind this. Maybe you're the one that planned it out. Because I promise you, if God planned your steps, you can get behind it. Because you've asked him, you put your confidence, you put your faith, and then he gives you a step to take, and then you take it with confidence. And then you train yourself or you teach yourself to be grateful in that step. To be able to look at your day and say, is this what you had me doing today, God? And if so, I'm going to be grateful in it. I'm going to give you glory for it. But when I look at my life, really honestly, I'm doing mostly for me. I'm living around what I want to have done. I'm living out my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. But I want us to begin to realize this truth. The prize isn't out there. The prize isn't somewhere in front of us. The prize isn't what you accomplish occasionally. The prize is in what you do daily and do it for the glory of God. Get that? The prize isn't what you accomplish occasionally. The prize is in what you do daily and do for the glory of God. Could you get behind the fact that this is the reward? Can you get behind the fact that what you're doing is what you're after? That's weird. See, a lot of us are working towards heaven. That's our goal. That's the only goal. And then some of us are working, so we've got that as our spiritual goal. And then we got our personal goals. The house, the kids, the college, the savings, the retirement, whatever it is. And we're trying to accomplish those. But can you get behind that maybe the reward is today? The glory of God is in today. Can you change your attitude to where in this grind of day to day, the reward happens. And it's never gonna be or should have been about something later, no matter what that later is. What if the work is the reward? What if what you're doing, what if the prize is in the process of following Him? Would it not change the way you look at life? Would it not change the way you reacted to life? To what's going on around you, to what when you look out at the planet, no matter what, if you could get behind the fact that you can be grateful in just what you're doing, in the actual doing, and that's where the reward is, that you wouldn't be so focused on what should happen and how it should change and how you would feel better. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 15:9 to the little first part of 10. This is what he says, because I think he's being transparent and a little vulnerable. For I am the least of the apostles, and I don't even deserve to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. Listen, before I knew you, I hated you. Right? But before I was one of you, I thought you were idiots. Have you ever met anybody like that? I have. Guess what? They're right. They're right. It's the sad part. Before I knew you, I didn't like you at all. Go on, look, first part of that, Tim. There you go. But by the grace of God, here you go. But, see, here's everybody, I've said this before, we all need to live in the but. Right there is where we need to live. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And His grace to me, check this, was not without effect. Some of you are in this room, I'm going to just take a stab, that His grace is still without effect in your life. See, maybe you're a person who's just kind of watched from the outside. Maybe you're one of those, I'm not one of them, right? Just kind of looking at them. Maybe you got invited, whatever. Maybe you've been to a couple of church services. Maybe you've been to church on Christmas and Easter and definitely on Mother's Day, right? You're going to keep Mama happy still into your older years, right? Mom always taught me I got to be there on those days. And those are the days. But now maybe you're kind of sliding towards the other direction, and you're thinking, maybe. His grace hasn't. Leave that up there. I want to read it. His grace hasn't, or is still without effect on you. But then there's the rest of you, or some of you, I don't want to say the rest, that the grace isn't without effect. It has affected you. Okay, so here's the point. Some of you are Christ followers. His grace has affected you. And then there are those who aren't Christ followers. His grace has had no effect on you. You understand the point? You understand the difference? Paul's saying His grace isn't without effect. His grace has changed me. I understand what He did for me. I get what He's trying to do in my life. Listen, Paul's pretty humble, but he's also pretty clear. I'm a Christ follower, and what He did in my life didn't go unnoticed. No, check this. I love this. No, I worked harder than all of them. Who's he talking about? The other apostles. I worked hard on. But look, so he's like, matter of fact, with a little bit of humility. But not I, okay? But it was the grace of God that was with me. So I worked really, really hard, but it wasn't me working. What happened in my life? I worked. I did what I was supposed to do. Not because of what I wanted, but because of what God wanted from me. And I listened to what He wanted, and I put my nose down, and I worked harder than everybody. I don't think he's actually comparing himself to everybody. I think he put his nose down and said, nobody is going to work harder than me. It's kind of like us when we say, we are the greatest church on the planet. It's not in comparison to your church back home. It's okay, right? I hope if you go up north and you attend a church, I hope you think it's the greatest church on the planet. Wherever you go, it better be the greatest church on the planet to you. Because God has put you there, and God wouldn't put you in some subpar church. That's what Paul's saying. Paul's saying his grace so affected me that I couldn't help but work harder than everybody else. I was going to get after it, and I don't care what he asked me to do. I was just going to do it. But by the grace of God, I am what I am, and I worked hard because of it. Because see, when you do that, now you're becoming what he wants you to be, and you're not worried about what you want to be. Man, it would be awesome if we could become a Christian and still stay on our trajectory. Wouldn't that be nice? If you could just get God and put him in a backpack and take him on your journey. Man, that would be so much better. I wouldn't have to worry about changing my life. I wouldn't have to worry about checking in with him. I wouldn't have to worry about if his plan was better than mine. I would just have one plan to deal with, and it would be mine. And then whenever I screwed up my plan, I would just take my backpack off and set it down and say, okay, I need you to fix some stuff. I mean, that's your job, right? Right? You know, I was making it, but I lost my job. Now I need you to get me a better one, okay? Because I can't accomplish what I'm after if you don't help me along the way. That would be nice, but it's not that way. In reality, you're in the backpack. You're there. And God's on his journey. And he asks you to pack the thing sometimes. And he asks you to go and do this sometimes. And in the middle of all that is the grind. And you're still supposed to be grateful for it. And you're still supposed to say, I'm working harder no matter what I'm doing, because he's the one that's got me on this path. Yes, I used to be on another path. Yes, I used to think that I wanted to be just successful. Now, I want to be successful for the glory of God. And whatever that looks like, what that definition of success has changed. Because he's the one mapping out my life. Paul would say, I have let his grace affect me so much that I now work hard for what he wants me to do. Not for what I want to do. See, it's not about becoming a better version of you. Listen, if that were the case, you sucked before, now you just kind of suck. Who wants that in their life? Who wants to be like just a semi-better person? You're completely new. You're completely different. His grace affected you all the way to the core, and it changed your entire outlook. At least it was supposed to. Listen, you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know. I kind of like just coming to church. Can I write you a bigger check? Yeah, but it doesn't change the attitude. I mean, I kind of like it when people think they can buy their way into heaven. But it doesn't help you. It just helps my goals. I'm still selfish. I'm not perfect. Sorry. Right? Y'all knew about the lady that tried to get me to baptize her dog, right? Salvation of an animal has a price. That dog is in heaven, glory be. And it only costs $1,500. Bring your tired and weary furry friends. I will get them there. You can even use my pen. I kid, but not. I told her that. So if you're dumb enough to ask me to get into heaven, I am smart enough to get him there. And when you get there, if he's not there, I'll give you your money back. So, enough of that. Paul goes on to say, and I love that. Was that the last time? Yeah, that was the last time. But it's the grace. I worked harder, but it's the grace inside of me that was working harder. Basically, I wasn't any good, but the grace of God transformed me. And I became, man, this ministers to me in a lot of ways, right? I wish I could just sit with him. Paul, I wish I could, not Jesus, I want to sit with Paul. I don't want to sit with Jesus because then I'll feel like crap. I want to sit with Paul and I want to go, dude, tell me about this. What does this look like? And I think he would say, well, you know, when everybody else went to bed, I stopped and I talked to God and I said, what's next? And when everybody else was out, you know, like, you know, we've been traveling so long, I just want to go relax. He said, I didn't. I checked in and I said, God, even how should I relax? And I'm fairly confident, that Paul had his own passions. I mean, you have your own passions, right? Yeah. Super Bowl, right? We all have our own passions. We all there's something we want. There's something, you know, and we desire. I think Paul probably had them. Maybe Paul's passion could have been music. Maybe it was guitar. Maybe he was putting his stuff up on YouTube. You know, it was like Justin Bieber, then Paul, whatever. You know, if he was alive today, maybe it was cars. Maybe it was football. You know, maybe he had his passions, and he had to deal with those, right? We all have them. But here's what I know was not his passion. Because I believe he would have said, you know, there was that time that snake bit me. I just shook it off and kept going. There was that time, we got shipwrecked. I just kept going. I know that in no way would Paul have set out and said, I cannot wait to get shipwrecked. I am so looking forward to that long swim, to that strandedness. I can't wait to see what God has in store when there's no food on that island. He would not have said that. So he didn't plan for that. But yet we know that when he got shipwrecked, what did he do? Back to him. He would have never said, I cannot wait to get arrested. But what did he do when he did? Kept working. Paul was not in prison going, well, as soon as I get out, man, I got some stuff for God I got to do. This is a little setback. You ever had one of those in your life? A little setback. What are those? Problems in your plan. See, that would have been a great time for Paul to go, this is a setback. Right? A shipwreck is a setback. A prison sentence is a setback if you're working your own plan. But Paul said, give me some pen and paper. Philippians need a letter. Hey, dude, you know, the one that's chained to me, I need to talk to you about something. Not how can I get out of here, but I'm grateful for the moment that you've given me. I'm ready. Wow. Oh, we're still ahead. It's only 10:20. You want to get out on time, volunteer here on Thursday and try to figure out how to work that clock. We ain't figured it out yet. So I'm going to give you 3 things that kind of mess us up, that keep us from focusing and getting behind in this grind and being grateful in it. Right? First one I like to call the pillow. The pillow. The pillow lures you. Not necessarily go to bed, but the seduction of comfort. You know, let's think about for just a minute those of us who own a house. Okay, those of you who own a house. I don't own a house. For some people, I don't know if it was you, but when we did own a house a long time ago. And our first house had a certain amount of amenities in it, right? Anybody had a first house? You get that, right? It's like saying, who's got a mama? Right? Everybody had a first one, right? What'd you do on the second one? Got the stuff that the first one didn't have, right? Right, our first house didn't have a garage, barely had a closet, right? So you're like, oh man, our next house, we're going to get us a garage. It's going to be nice. Maybe if your house doesn't have granite countertop, you know, they didn't have any granite countertop. You know, you can't wait for the house with granite countertops. Or the walk-in closet. You know, I need some more space, man. Right? What are you going to do in the space? Oh, I'm not going to put anything in it. I just need the space. Right? Why? Right? I don't know. I mean, that's me too. I mean, we need something bigger. Why? Well, we're full. Well, I'm not going there. Well, that's another sermon. You can figure that out on your own. Right? Or maybe your car. Remember your first car? You know how you put your windows down in your first car? Man, y'all are rich. We did this. That handle don't work in the first car. Come on, what's wrong with you? That's just a Tonka toy. Right? But yeah, the next car, it's going to have them. That's how you put your window down. Man, our car now has butt warmers. Rarely we use them. But it has butt coolers. You have arrived when your butt gets air conditioned. I'm just telling you. I don't know where we're going from here. Maybe it's Tesla. I don't know. I mean, that has to be it. But see how that is? You're always looking for the net. I gotta do this. I just need to be. If I had that, I'd be comfortable, right? If I had the garage, I'd keep my car clean and keep it in there. If I had a walk-in closet and I could see all my clothes, yeah. I wouldn't have to dig, you know. First world problems, having to move a set of clothes to get to the next set. That sucks, right? If I had my 15th pair of shoes, man, then I'd be able to wear the brown, right? I'm talking about guys, not girls. Pillow, it seduces us, man. It keeps us from focusing on what God has us to do because we're trying to get to the next level of comfort, whatever that is. We just need enough to take life easy. If you were in Sunday school, this fits right along with what we read in Luke, man. You know, when you store up everything enough to be able, the rich man said, as soon as I tear down those small barns and I'm build me some bigger ones, I'm going to fill them up, and then I'm going to sit back and take life easy. Do you know what I believe happened in his life when he built the bigger barns and filled them with grain? Go ahead and say it. You've done it. I'm going to tear them barns down, I'm going to build them bigger, and I'm going to fill them up. Then I'll take it easy. And then those got full too. So he bought a condo in Florida. Just the seduction. That pillow cries out, man. Just if you could just do a little bit more to be comfortable, then you can sit back. I told our Sunday school class, I've met people that have said, I've worked all my life, man, so that I could take it easy. My house is paid for, my cars are paid for, my kids are through college, man. I've got enough, I know how much every month that I can spend and still make it. I've got it set. I don't have to worry about that part of my life anymore because I've fixed it. Now I'm ready to serve God. Oh. I don't even know what to say to you. I don't. When they say that, I don't know how to respond. So you've beat the verse that said don't worry by worrying so much that you've got it to the point where you don't think you should worry anymore. And now you're ready to put your nose down and work hard. The grace hasn't affected you. It really hasn't affected you. You can say it has, but it hasn't. Second thing is the shiny thing. Oh, man. You're working, you know what's important, but then bang, there's a notification. What's going on Facebook? What? Okay, for me, I'll meddle in my own life. I get a bing every morning from this big old store with orange on it. And it always starts with today only. And then when you click on this notification, there's this timer. you know, that if you don't get this shiny thing in the next 15 minutes, I don't even know what's going to happen. Because I literally have clicked on that sometimes and bought that thing, and then a week later at the store, it's on clearance, cheaper than what I paid for it on that "you better get it right now" thing. That shiny thing, I gotta have that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm worse than most women when it comes to online shopping. I love Amazon boxes on my porch. If they made it to where they would just sell you the box so that the mailman would bring it to you, I'd probably buy it. I'm like a little dog. I'm walking out the... You know what's really sad? People park in our parking lot to deliver packages to other houses. I think that's the biggest sin anybody can commit. I'm like halfway out the door and I'm like, "Hey, you can't park there. If you're not bringing me a package, get out of here." But I love that. And I also love that they let you know they're on their way. Because then I don't look too foolish at like 9 in the morning. That shiny thing, man, it'll take us away. It'll take us away from working because we're worried about getting it. And then we're only happy if we get it. Right? I cannot, come on. Don't be silly. I can't be content with what we have. I need more. I need better. If I get it, then I'll be happy. I can't just be focused on the work. I can't get the prize from the actual work. And yet, that may be where the reward is. Last, it was the enemy we call the towel. This is the perpetual temptation to quit. You know, if you're in a marriage, it's not really working, or you're having trouble, just quit. Just quit. You know, or maybe you're working on your finances together, and then something happens. You know, you make a pact. God directs you that you're going to live maybe on a budget. This messes with me too, don't? And then something happens, and you're like, "Yeah, just use a credit card one time. One time." You know, let's quit on the plan, and let's just take it back into our own hands. Or if I know that Paul would have been sitting there around that fire. You know, he's got his glass of wine, and he'd be like, I could have quit many times. You know, when Barnabas came up and outed me in the Sunday school class, I should have left that church, right? I should have just walked away because, you know what? They didn't appreciate me. They were rude. I see that all the time in Christians. Or maybe it's just church people. I don't know. You ever searched for a church while you were in a church? Don't raise your hand now. Because I don't know if you're here searching or getting ready to. One I'm going to be happy about. The other one I might be sad about. But think about that. Just to quit because, you don't get your way. Just to quit because you feel underappreciated. I'm not getting they don't appreciate what I do. They never take my ideas. You know what I've noticed? If you're the type of person who never gets their ideas taken, your ideas stink. I'm serious now. Serious. I mean, this is funny, kind of funny, but this happens in churches all around the country. We'd have us a business meeting, right? We've decided that we're going to paint that back wall back there. There would be somebody in this room who would think we should paint it pink. And be serious about it. And then somebody say, well, we're not doing that. That's stupid. And then you get all hurt over it. Because even in church, even in Christian circles, we try to get our way over God's way. We don't look at just grinding it out. We don't, listen, I promise, there'd be tons of stuff if it was all about me, and if I was in a church or you're in a church. I promise, if it's all about you, there's all kinds of stuff you would change, right? Listen, there's all kinds of stuff you'd change about me. Right, Blanche? There are some people I'll allow to change me just because I love them. But serious. All across our life, in every gamut of our life, there's our way and there's God's way. And most of the time, we just try to live under ours. We let our emotions dictate. We let the shiny things. We let the comfort. We let the newest thing. We let the thing that I just want to give up and I just want to stop because it's just too hard, man. Man, this church is just like every other church. I can promise you that is a lie. We might be like some other church, but we're not like every church, right? Because you all are here, and you're not everywhere else. And we're all following God, and we're all listening to what He has for us in our lives, and we're trying to accomplish that. But if we could accomplish it by looking at the day and getting our reward and actually doing the thing, instead of throwing in the towel, you could pick it up and wipe the sweat off your brow and keep on going. And look and say, God, am I here to serve? Or am I here to get my way? And I mean wherever you're at in your life, not here. Am I here at this job because you asked me to be here? Am I living where I live because you asked me to live here? Because if you are, then everything that happens in the day because of it, you need to find the reward in. Just like Paul, God had him a plan. You're going to Rome. Check that. Paul, you're going to Rome. And then everything that happened along the way, you never saw him go, oh, I just want to get to Rome. This is messing me up. No, he's just like, I'm on my way to Rome. I'm on my way to Rome. It's just part of the run. So listen, if you're the person that really thinks heaven's the ultimate, that's it, that's all you're supposed to do, awesome. Nothing that happens on the planet should affect you at all. Nothing. I don't care what it is. You can't give me a scenario that's going to happen on this planet and then tell me that your ultimate goal is heaven and then turn around and get all upset because they won the election. Whatever. My greatest goal is to get to heaven and glory be to God, live with Him forever, and that's it. And then somebody's going to win the Super Bowl, and tomorrow you're going to be like, I can't believe them refs cheated. That's stupid. We need to do something about that. Come on. Think about it. Oh, y'all done assuming that they cheating. That's the only way he can win. That was a test. You failed. You failed. You failed. You failed. Don't let your attitude get defeated. Okay. See, some of this stuff is going like right over your head. I'm surprising myself right now. I promise you. We're just going to keep going because I'm in a row. All right. Last thing. That's a lie. Acts 20, verse 24. There's actually 2 more verses. Can you be here? Here's what I want to know. However, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My whole life, everything I'm doing, everything I've got, worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me. Not get to Rome, check that. The task of testifying to the good news of God's grace. That grace that affected me, that changed me. I think you ought to write that on. If you're going to, listen, some of us aren't any good at memorizing scripture verses. If you're going to memorize something, focus on something like this. My life means nothing. Can you get up tomorrow? Now, Dale Carnegie would not approve of this message. Can you get up tomorrow and go, I am worth nothing without the grace of God in me? Amen. And I want to do nothing except for what the grace of God effects me to do. And be that filter. Let that be the lens by which you look at life, operate in life, talk to in life. Only do the things that God's grace, so that the glory of God goes to Him in everything. Can you do that? I don't know if you can or not. Look at, I like this, 1 Corinthians 9:26, because some people do this. Therefore, I do not run. I'm not air running and I'm not air boxing. That's my paraphrase of that verse. I don't run like someone running aimlessly. I'm not just running in circles. I'm running towards something. I'm not just air boxing. I'm fighting. Remember, Paul talked about fighting the good fight, running the good. This is it. So I'm running a race that God has proportioned me to run, set me out to run, gave me the goal of to finish, glorifying Him, letting the good news of God's grace that lives inside of me come out, showing people what it looks like to not think this world has what it has and that this world is not what it all is to offer. That's not it. That's my goal. That's my task. My task is to show that there's something bigger, something greater than the things that go on the planet. That's my goal. That's my task. I'm not just doing it aimlessly. I'm not just running through here going, I'm running towards something, and it's His purpose. See, I don't think Paul ever looked ahead, even about the Rome thing. I don't think that's how he was able to be imprisoned and still get along. I don't think that's how he was able to be shipwrecked or get bit by a snake or all those things. I think it was the fact that I'm running towards what God has me to run towards, His grace. I'm running this race for Him so that no matter what happens along the way, I can still function in the race. It's part of the race. Get that. Everything that's happening in your life, as long as you're doing it for His glory and because the grace has affected you, is part of the race. It's not messing up your race. It's not a challenge to your race. It's not a fight that you're just beating against the air. It's a fight that's part of the race. It's a fight that's part of the entire thing. Can you say, God, I'm choosing to find purpose in this. I'm doing this for your glory. I'm not running like a man running aimlessly. I'm directed by your Spirit. I'm empowered by your word. I'm loving people everywhere I go. When I walk into a room and it's dark, light came with me. I understand that when I do something nice for you, it's because He asked me to do something nice for you. And when I'm doing stuff around and for the glory of God, I understand that the glory of God is with me and through me. And then I don't look around and say, well, what happened? I look around and say, look what happened. Look what happened. It's going to cause you to second guess some of the choices you've made. It's going to cause you to really figure out if you're living your goals in life or God's goals in life. And definitely realize that the things you have and where you go and what you do are not the reward. The vacations you get to take, not the reward. The accomplishments you make, not the reward. That's not the prize. The prize is in the process. The reward is in the daily grind. Can you do that? Can you do that? All right, we are done. But we're not going anywhere because I'm excited to show you something. It's a shiny thing. Isn't it? Anybody got their phones with them? Show it. Show it to me. Go ahead and show it to me. Show me. Show me your phone. All right, rest of you, we know it's there. So you're the first ones, man, the million of people that are logged in right now watching this live. Is anybody watching? Did they get on in Guatemala? All right, so that's one part of news. Guatemala is full swing. Our mission team is over there having a great time. If you want to catch up to what they're doing, get on Beach Baptist's Facebook, and Justin is posting pictures while he's over there so you can kind of see what they're doing. That's really cool. But today, we have launched Beach Baptist app. It's out there, all right? So we want you all to have it, knowing full well that it's probably going to change a little bit as we go along, but we want to take you along on the journey. So if you have an Android, if you search the Google Play Store for Beach Baptist, you'll find it. It's got a little sun as our icon. If you're on Apple, this is weird, you have to search BBCF. All right? That stands for Beach Baptist Church Fort Myers, yeah, which is weird. So that may change, but right now you search BBCF. We're going to send out links in our emails and stuff like that, but we want you to go ahead and log on. Here's what I'm telling you for this morning. This is why it's important for us. We want you to go ahead and download it. Play with it. There's a section called Message Board, and I stuck a message out there that says, let us know what you'd like to see in the app. This is yours. It was built for you. You know, it's not us given to you, not like your staff. It's yours. So what you would like to see in the app, we want you to stick on the message board. Please make this thing do whatever. And we'll tell you, yeah, we can, we'll go for it. Or that's a bad idea. If it's a bad idea, it's just going to be deleted. All right? So that's how you'll know. No, I'm joking. We're going to take them all. We're going to try to build it to make it, it's going to be this will be thing. So you'll all be able to communicate one another. Your prayer wall is going to be out there. Listen live when you're on vacation or when you're going back up north. The app brings up their live. You'll be able to go right to one place and see it. There's daily devotions we put out there for you. Every day you can just pop right in there, get a new devotion, read the Bible. Bring your phones to church, read your Bible right along with us. You can switch versions in there really quickly and just be able to follow along. So we're just really excited about that. It's a new function that Wes has been working on and I together and just kind of put that out for you to have and launch. So today's launch day, and we firmly believe it'll break. But what's really cool, we don't know when you delete it. We just know when you download it. So it's a good ego boost if you'll just all go download it. And then even if you you can delete it later. We don't really care. There you go, look, she's already on it. They're on it. Good stuff. So go ahead and grab that and look it up, and check it out, and see. We told you on Wednesday, our new phrase is, it's on the app. No longer you're able to say, well, I didn't know what was going on. Download the app, you'll know what's going on. Good stuff. Be praying for the people in Guatemala. Like I said, they're over there full swing. They come back Thursday. Check in on them. If you log on to our Facebook page, you can actually send messages on any of the stuff that they've posted. Justin will get that notification and share it with the team. There's some of the pictures of what's going on over there. That was just this week. They got working on the church over there. You got playing with kids over there. They got to see an active volcano, which is really, really cool. Yeah. Kind of scary, but fun. I'd like to go. No, I've been. It's fun. Good stuff. Something else I was supposed to tell you. Anybody remember? Jesus loves you. Yeah. Let's all stand. We'll go. We'll see you back Wednesday night at 5:30 for family fellowship meal and Bible study following that in the back building. Who'll pray for us? Sim, would you pray for us as we go?